In a world where comics, movies, games, rumors, and Kardashians come at you 24/7, 3 champions will rise to defend you from wasting precious time, money, and emojis. BK, Nate, and Derek will show you how to do it the player way.
Ladies and gentlemen and everyone in between, this is your boy BK. It's on once again, Patron once again. Jumping right into season 2. But we're going to keep the sequence going for iTunes purposes. And I'm back with my homeboys, my co-captains, Derek.
That's me, season 2, and we're still systems corrupted. I was going to say we still smoking. But
and Nate!
Let me just take over
if
from
you don't
here,
know,
guys.
you drop the hose.
Still here.
All right, man. So how did y'all enjoy this little break we had? Kind of had like a little fall break.
We did, man. I had 2 days of fall weather here in Texas. It dropped down in the 30s before it shot back up to the 90s.
The same here in Georgia.
It is like literally the 90s right now. Today was
perfectly ice cold weather where we actually got to turn on the heat for maybe like 3 days, and then it ended up hot all over again. Is this Miami?
Man.
What the hell is going on? What about you, Nate? Perfect weather all the time, right?
Dude, no. For the last couple of weeks, it was like 100 degrees, and it finally cooled off.
Crazy.
Last week.
Wow. Does it get that hot there very often? Like in the
I'm just saying we should just
that was
sell
an anomaly
guns to polar bears so they can just
that's what I'm saying. It's never.
Just go ahead and speed up the process.
But like California never is that hot. Like,
yeah, that's pretty. Nate's been talking about that heat for a minute though. He's been saying like it's been unseasonably warm.
Yeah, it was sort of an anomaly, and on top of that,
I like that he's looking out towards the weather. I like that he's looking out towards the temperatures outside
with
just
fear.
to make sure it doesn't change on me again. Yeah.
Exactly. That look over your shoulder weather.
But no, it's been good now.
Well, this is what's going down. So after season 1, we kind of had at the end of season 1, we kind of had our man
season finale
summit.
though?
We had we had our little man summit, man trip that we have annually with just the loyal co-captains,
if you will.
Exactly. We had some flakers on us, but that's cool.
Shout out
they
to
shall
Derek.
not be named.
Oh,
exactly. But no,
he needs to know.
When we got together and talked about it, we were like, BK's got this new job that is like causing him to work all kinds of hours. Derek has got some different things going on. He's kind of moving to a new department as well. So we decided to do things a little more stripped down, straight up and off the cuff, a little more genuine. Get it? Genuine? Exactly. So yeah, so we just gonna do it live, no cuts at all. We
and when he
got to the
says
point where
that,
we did little
literally,
drops.
we have not discussed one thing that we're going to do
No,
prior to this
no, we just-
recording.
Do it live.
Each other's and
We're doing
press
live.
record.
Fucking thing sucks.
Whoop.
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly. So
Whoop,
we go
whoop.
straight in. Exactly. So we go straight in. Yeah, that's exactly what's up. And what we're talking about this week is our topic. We're talking about. Any guesses, guys?
I don't know. I feel like there was a couple of things. There was a nice badminton tournament last Tuesday.
You mean
afternoon.
badminton?
That's gotta be what you guys are doing.
Badminton, sir.
Oh,
badminton.
I'm sorry. I go with the stereotypical colloquialism of badminton. All right,
Badminton,
son. It's mad crazy out here. It's real. It's mad crazy with that shuttlecock. You heard me?
It's not a good mitten.
It is not mitten. It's minton.
It's
badminton.
By minton.
Playing that by minute.
It's not a benevolent mitten. A malevolent, if you will.
It's so stupid. No, we're not talking about badminton. This episode, we are talking about Ragnarok. The Ragnarok of Thor. Thor Ragnarok, is that what we're talking about? The movie's so nice, BK had to watch it twice. And then we boned after that.
After that. That's right, after that.
So you guys both watched it, I trust?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. My good friend Rick got me a ticket about 6 weeks ago for a Thursday night, November 2nd showing. So that was at a fan event at the good old Alamo Draft House.
Shout out to Rick. It ain't what it was.
It ain't what it was, but it could be what it might be and what it will be and could possibly be going forward.
You can't protect the Rick.
Why is he still coming? It ain't what it was, Rick. Nate, did you watch it?
Of course, man.
Yeah,
I didn't watch it as early as you guys, but
Of course.
managed to go.
He said it like, of course, holla at your boy. Shout out to Kate Blanchett.
Man.
Man.
Let's go ahead and give her a shout out.
I'm telling you, man, I've never really thought about Kate
I've
Blanchett
never thought about
in
giving
that
Kate
way.
Blanchett a donkey punch either, BK, like you were saying earlier before we started recording. But, man.
Think about giving her that Mad Real World.
Angry Dragon?
Try to give her that Lysol.
99.9%?
Correction. I did not sleep with Katie. Lysol sat with Katie. Exactly, man. We watched that realness, that hotness, Thor Ragnarok. So we're just gonna go around the circle and
right.
play a little game of Limp Biscuit when it comes to our opinions. So let's get it started.
Oh, if only we could fly. Limp Biscuit style. I'll step in to this one.
Before you start, I'm just happy that I got Derek to sign off on a game of Limp Biscuit, but that's cool. Go ahead.
I didn't say I signed. What? Huh? What's the way? Did you try it? Did you wipe it on your jeans? Did you try it there? So this game of Limp Biscuit, cue Back from the Dead music, if you got me, BK. Yes.
Back from the dead. Okay, let's actually get started with the opinions of Hot Sports Opinions.
All right. I did go see Thor Ragnarok, as I mentioned, Thursday evening. Shout out to Rick. It ain't what it was. Souffle. And I was definitely entertained, very much so, by this movie. I was entertained to where I laughed at several parts of it. To be honest, I would almost classify this as a comedy action movie before I would say action comedy. That starred also some superheroes. There was a lot of humor. It reminded me of a PG frequency of jokes of Deadpool, and then also, of course, shades of the ridiculousness that would happen in Guardians of the Galaxy. A lot in this one. It's almost like I forgot about the sinister theme. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. I've heard a lot of people at work, they all talked about that exact Deadpool. Like, they kept saying, if I could relate to anything, it's like Deadpool, but like not nearly as crass.
Yeah, exactly. And almost to where I had to be reminded that this actually has a very sinister plot, finding out that the goddess of death is loose and the end of Asgard is upon us. So much so that I almost forgot that was going on until literally Thor had to grab me by my shirt to say, "Oh yes, we must create Ragnarok," and whatnot. Even though it was closer to more of an Idris Elba, but I didn't feel like doing a Chris Hemsworth Thor voice just then at that moment. I just meant that scene in the movie where he's like, "We need to make Ragnarok happen." I feel like in my head I was like, this was the discussion in the boardroom. Like, all right, guys, we've had a lot of fun in this movie. Let's go ahead and make Ragnarok happen, and then throw that in there. Almost, because I'm like, oh yeah, this is a pretty intense story that I should be much more, but there was just so much humor, lots of action, but so much.
Are you saying that you did like that resolution, or you did not like that resolution?
I'm glad that it finally happened, because honestly, as I mentioned earlier, just the tone throughout the movie never really had me in a Ragnarok frame of mind. But then again, I also had that feeling from when I first saw the trailer of the whole, "It's a friend from work" and all that. I'm like, I feel like that they're going Guardians of the Galaxy here. And then after watching it, So I'm glad that it finally happened, but I also feel that it was like, oh yeah, by the way, here's Ragnarok part of it too, besides our comedy superhero movie.
What'd you think, Nate?
I really liked it, and I agree with Derek. It definitely was a comedy first. And then they turned it. Then they turned it into your standard action comic book movie. Couple high points for me. This to me did for Thor what Winter Soldier did for Captain America. Like,
yes!
Thor, historically, his franchise has probably been a bit lackluster. It's always very regal, very, Shakespearean almost, I guess, from the first one. This one made him cool. Just like Winter Soldier made Cap cool. This one I came out of this thinking like Thor's a badass.
Great.
You can never,
He was the coolest part of the movie. He was the funniest. Yeah, they really focused on building him up.
There was so much development for him that I definitely hadn't seen before.
There was a lot of development for Hulk too, though. But Hulk, it was also Hulk's movie too. I feel like they were two sides of the similar coin.
Planet Hulk. This is Thor Planet Hulk.
Dude, because that after credit scene with the Grandmaster, you get the sense that there's obviously been a revolution. So easily Planet Hulk, otherwise known as Sakaar, can be turned over now into the plot of actual Planet Hulk. So like when he comes back, it'll, time obviously passes differently there. It may be like eons when he comes back. Like he may be like, I just left here like a week or two ago, and it's, eons have passed since
and they
then.
specifically addressed that when they said it's on the edge of, who knows really where it is. So it could be the edge of time, edge of the universe. So that gives them enough gray area to play in to say, yeah, it's been a month since Infinity War, but it's been 642 millennia by this old statue that came back. I like that, man. Nice.
Nate, what were some more of your notes? Because you said you had several of your high points.
Well, let's start at the beginning of the movie. Fucking Doctor Strange is definitely Sorcerer Supreme.
He's been putting in work.
Right? In the 2.5 minutes of screen time he had, like, you made me believe he was a badass.
He definitely had that Eye Agamotto on him.
Yeah.
And just that clearly handled two gods at one time with effortlessly and just through conversation. I've been falling for 30 minutes.
I'm telling you. I love that.
Great point, Nate. That was awesome. He looks so
I love the scenes in like Norway, I guess, where Odin was or where it's supposed to be. Little kind of cheesy because you could really tell
it was fake.
Green screen.
You could tell it's so bad.
A Michael Bay scene was about to happen.
Thor had that moment where he slammed his umbrella down and he transformed. Yes. That was like a fanboy moment to me because that's a callback to the comics. It
sure is with the
and that's umbrella. How he would change into Thor. He would slam his cane down and change into Thor. Yeah, that's
definitely something I was not aware of. Awesome, reminded me of Rujin.
And then Kate Blanchett comes out, man.
You hear me, DK?
Yeah. Huh?
It reminded me of Rujin Jaka. You know what I'm
talking about? Rujin Jaka. Exactly. Shout out to Bleach. But yeah, then Kate Blanchett came out, man. And then I came out. The CGI business. I got the sense, I watched the movie twice. I got the sense that they really did do some photoshopping with her body. Because I'm telling you, man, it was like, I've never seen this before. The closest you've seen to her looking like that was, and I'll give the credit to Derek because he said it in our chat.
Benjamin Button?
Yep, Benjamin Button, man.
That scene where he threw her down, you see that thigh high and that leg going, I was like, okay, I want to be. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah.
Do a little tip hat.
Trying to see with that.
Her as a villain.
Oh, dude. And
it definitely worked. I'm still convinced she's going to show up in Infinity War. Like, she can't be gone.
Dude. I'm saying the best Marvel villain on screen to date. Like, better than Loki, in my opinion.
Better than Loki.
Best Marvel speaking of which, villain. Loki.
And we're just going to cut out Emil Blonsky.
Loki, he had a good arc in this movie, too. It's sort of... He has this conversation at the end of Thor where they... they had that poignant scene in the elevator, first off. That was sort of... dramatic, you know, because it's where Thor finally accepts. It's like, dude, you're just gonna fuck me over, but I love you. You know?
Well, and not only that, but like he's moved past the fighting with Loki, and he's moved past trying to save him. He's like, you know, you are the god of mischief, but you could be so much more. Like, I love that scene. I love where he's like, you know, you're
actually
so
has a big brother. It's like
yes,
heart to heart moment.
Big brother, yes,
it's
exactly what it was. It was like, well, all right, well, good luck with that.
And then even more so, it's like, I don't want to play he needs help, and he just treats him seriously like a little brother walking out of there. Like, it was like I felt like I was looking at a 13-year-old and a 7-year-old. Like, I'm like, their chemistry on screen, like I felt as if they were brothers. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
Absolutely.
Like,
and he definitely tricked his younger brother, into helping win the day. Like, it's like he
appealed to the exact side that he needed. It was
reverse psychology too. He was like, "Hey, you're gonna fuck me over," you know. But then he comes in. It's like, all right.
Speaking of psychology, let's talk about comic book adaptations, because we do have Cord, who was in there, and we also had what's his name, Meek. So these are characters that we've seen in the Planet Hulk animation, if you've seen them, and you've also read in the Planet Hulk comic book, the graphic novel. I've read and watched both, and I gotta say, I think that this is not the comic book version of Meek. I think with him having the little eggs in the scene in the prison, they're alluding to the fact that he's probably not the Meek that we know from the comics. Especially because this Meek is a lot more brave. Meek was not very brave until he became friends with the Hulk. And then definitely, I don't see this as being the Cord from Planet Hulk either. I kind of see this as being, like, eventually it'll be one of those things where they come back and there's another one called the same thing. What do you think about that?
I think this is as close to a Planet Hulk movie as we're going to get.
You think so?
I mean,
maybe
there's
scenes? Do you think they'll do, like,
pages
scenes?
and pages of legal drama between Universal and Marvel as to why Hulk can't get a standalone movie unless they go through Universal.
Oh, so, really? This dude's about to drop knowledge. Go ahead, drop knowledge.
But they can use him as a supporting character.
No, hold on, homie. Hold on, you just dropped bombs. Hold on. Go back for a second. What is this? Universal, Marvel, what?
So he is owned by Marvel, but Universal also owns like distribution rights to the character, which is why he's never gotten a standalone movie after The Incredible Hulk.
Under the Marvel Studios banner is what you mean.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Incredible Hulk is part of the MCU. Yeah. But it's just that's the reason why he hasn't had another solo movie. There's like legal. They don't want to use Universal, but they can use them fine as a supporting character in other films.
Would they ever use it as a flashback? Do you think? Do you think Marvel could, put together enough scenes just for a flashback of it to let us know, or would it require? Do you think so? Like, I feel that it would require at least a good chunk of a movie. Like, we can't just.
Yeah, I mean, the Planet Hulk, like in terms of a comic book, that was a year-long saga. I think it was 12 issues long.
Incredibly popular too.
Remind me, was Beta Ray Bill in Planet Hulk?
Film. Yes.
Say it again.
Yes.
Beta Ray Bill was in Planet Hulk.
Oh yeah, and you saw his face on one of the.
All right, thank you. Okay,
that was him.
Help me out. Point it out to me again.
He's the one on the left.
Yeah.
With the long, elongated face.
Gotcha.
They also had Man Thing. That was a pretty cool moment for me too. Man Thing was one of the heads. Yeah.
Yeah. For sure, yeah.
So you're saying he was one of the statues, BK?
Yeah, he was the one on the left. When you look at it, he was the one on the left
because they were building the Hulk one, and then he was
exactly.
The
Hulk was in the middle. And he was the one on the exact left. Exactly.
Cool. I thought so, but I was really kind of hoping to see him just for me, my own personal joy.
But they definitely gave you specific nods if you knew what Planet Hulk was, if you've actually read it or watched it. There were definite nods, like when Hulk beats up, when Thor kind of gets all sparkly finally in the when he's punching him side to side. That's exactly what happens with Beta Ray Bill, because he's hitting Beta Ray Bill in the face when he's grounding and pounding him, and he finally knocks off the little lightning thing, the little sensor, and he's like, "You just fixed it for me," but then he keeps beating him beyond it. So like that's exactly how Beta Ray Bill gets the business. So they basically redid the Beta Ray Bill fight, but with Thor instead. So that was a definite nod.
Speaking of the fight, how this was one of the funniest moments of the movie was when Thor started doing the lullaby. You know, the sun's getting real low,
and then they
yes, I thought of Nate.
I thought of Nate as well, because I remember it was a ridiculous phrase, but this is another thing why we like Marvel, because they're able to point fun at themselves. They knew that shit was ridiculous, so the fact that Thor kept saying that ridiculousness in this was, we get it, y'all. We shouldn't have done that. Sun's getting real low. Sunset time, nighttime. Shut up! Would you stop saying that? Yeah.
Sun's getting real low. Sun's getting real low. I'm not gonna hurt you.
And he
Sun's
just kept
getting low,
saying
like over and over. I was like, yes.
They got it. Yeah. They got it.
Dude, the Hulk, man. Talk about charisma. The Hulk was fun to watch.
Very entertaining.
That bedroom scene.
Oh, yeah.
Where I'm telling you, the bedroom dungeon scene is like my favorite part of that whole film, with really just getting to know the Hulk and his whole, what he's upset about.
You know, it kind of reminded me of, just like the Avengers animated series, where he actually had a very specific room in Avengers Tower, where he has all those figurines and everything's pristine and perfect. I like that before him and Thor kind of messed it up, his room was still perfectly set up. Like,
yeah, it was.
Thor, Hulk likes that type of organization, and I really like. It's very entertaining, and just how I enjoy how the actual nod to the power of Hulk and the power of Thor. Like, Thor had to imbue a lot of power to really go toe-to-toe with him, so it just really lets you know how much of a factor he is going to be in Infinity War. You know what I'm saying?
Then moving on, I think one of the more hokey things about this film was Valkyrie. Even though I love that actress, Tessa Thompson, I thought Valkyrie being... she was very cliche.
She was like a Jessica Jones in space.
Yeah,
I wasn't expecting her to be like a drunk. I mean,
she was exactly like, it was Jessica Jones. I was like, we've seen this already on Netflix.
Yes.
It was just, I kind of, so I didn't really, I thought Valkyrie wasn't nearly as powerful as she should have been. I don't think that we needed the drunk thing. I don't think we needed the drunk thing. I don't think we needed that at all. It didn't really serve to any end.
Because she never really acted drunk except when she first got out of the plane.
Yeah, and it was very anime, like One Punch Man like, where she comes out and she just, ooh, and falls into the trash. I was like, why? Why this? Like, why not just come out and shoot everybody down? I don't know. That character was very clunky to me. I did buy that she did have a change of heart because of the Loki thing. Because Loki basically messes up her memory and brings it to being fresh. So I did buy that she had a change of heart there. I just didn't buy the sudden, I'm no longer an alcoholic. Like, make that a part of her being. Like, I just didn't buy it. And I think it's because Tessa Thompson is such a clean, earthy human being. Like, if you look at the rest of her career, the type of characters she plays are very soulful characters. And so even when she's on Westworld, she plays a character that's very in control. And so for her to play a character that's so out of control, you could tell she had trouble playing that part. And I don't know why they didn't just get rid of that.
I'd be kind of with you. I kind of kept thinking she was about to do way more badass things than she ever did, to be honest with you. Especially with, like, all the build-up, what they kept giving us. And those awesome other, like, very 300-looking scenes of Pegasus's flying and fighting. Like, those flashbacks were awesome. I can't think of... Frank Miller, I was like, man, she is going to wreck... You know, and her and Executioner did like the same amount of damage to people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, in fact, Executioner might have done more.
Yeah. And I am still kind of curious how many rounds he had in those magazines.
Look, shout out to Carl Urban, dude. Shout out to Carl Urban.
Of the movie.
I don't know. Carl Urban, to me, always does a real good job of playing that random Spartan-like character.
Shout out to Doom with The Rock.
I'm telling you, he did Doom. He did Chronicles of Riddick. Same character.
Yes,
it's the same character in every movie. I'm like, yes, Carl
Play
Urban.
the buff guy that's handsome, but we don't need you to lead in the movie.
Exactly.
Was he in Judge Dredd?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, the second one. Yeah,
wasn't he Dredd?
Yeah, he was. Dredd. He was.
Yeah,
Dredd, right?
It's the same character. That's what I'm saying. It's all the same dude. Dredd, all of them, dude. I'm telling you, Carl Urban. It's like you knew what you were getting with that character. He's that dude. He's that dude, and he did it, and I love him for it. I was like, yes, I love that they had weapons for Midgard because yes, they rule all of the realms. That was the thing I didn't like about in the original Thor movie is that
they downplayed
he's the ruler of all 9 realms, and yet he didn't know anything about Earth. I'm like, this is your kingdom. And you would go here.
You've been alive for how long to have studied all these 9 realms? He mentioned something casually 500,000 years ago in this movie. So that tells you how old
You would have vacation. It's one of the only 9 realms that has no warfare on a constant basis. You would go to Hawaii and be like, yes, I'm going to go like, I heard Black Bolt likes to go down there every now and again with the dog. So I'm going to go there too. You know, it's like, come on, dude. What is this drink? I like this drink. Another.
I know. Let's not go to the place where my whole family folklore is legend to also inspire.
Never been to Norway. Never
seen history.
That's like Santa Claus never going to Macy's. Like, come on, dude. You know, Santa Claus went to Macy's at least once in his life. You know, it's like you got to. It's like the one place they celebrate you all the time. You would go there. They make prayers to you always. Like, hey guys, Norway, it's home. Yeah. Really?
Heimdall would clearly say, "Hey, you might want to check out this place. They're always talking about you, Thor, like always. And I hear everything. Trust me, they don't shut up about you. Check these guys out."
And if I remember correctly, Thor: The Dark World did not have the final battle in Norway, right?
No, it was in London.
See, I thought that was stupid too. Like, I was like, why wouldn't the final battle happen in Norway, where they're from, supposedly? I just thought it was weird.
You need a city to destroy,
right?
And unless you're just going to destroy the fjords or some random forest.
No, or you can just make up a random
danger,
or you can just make up a random civilization and lift it into the sky. Exactly.
That's the first thing that Banner was concerned about. That's such a good guy right there.
Exactly.
What happened in Sokovia? Well,
it was 2 years ago. We don't want to
worry about it, man. It's water under the bridge.
Sun's getting real low.
I also love how the Hulk was getting on the plane and totally destroyed it as he was getting on. I'm like, yes, this is what would happen. Yes. Don't go. You stay.
Yeah.
I love it.
Jumping around, I do like that they pointed out that the Infinity Gauntlet
was fake.
Odin's throne room was fake.
Man.
So casually, so many years I've held on to this just to be thrown away by sexy Kate Blanchett.
And most that silences the question of where was Thanos when in that, I think it was after the Avengers 2. Mm-hmm. Yeah, where I guess I'll do it myself. Yeah. So it wasn't on Asgard.
Well, but you know what I love? Okay, I love that Marvel realized they fucked up by putting the Infinity Gauntlet in Asgard, and they weren't going to be able to tie it up easy. We'll just call it fake.
And to say
the kids will love it. It'll be great. The kids will love it. They'll make memes about it, and there you go.
That's right. And then they proceed to show how other stuff was fake, including the ceiling and the floor, because clearly when you're an immortal species, you just paint over things or reconcrete over them. You know what I love? Have a bunch of fake stuff in your.
You know what I love? Shout out to Odin for oh shit, stuff is about to go down. I'm on a different path now. I'm gonna be with the stars now. Avoid all of this death that's about to happen.
Wall. He slammed that banish button so fast.
I'm telling you. It's like,
and by the way, you got a sister. Peace.
No, what I loved is he pulled.
I waited millions of millennia to tell you about your sibling.
He hit it with the Mufasa, dude. He hit it with the Mufasa. Remember, boys. Remember. and just vanished out in the fucking
Remember what?
ether. Exactly.
God,
I love it, dude. Yeah, so many great
and
things
also the
about
fact
the
that
movie.
he was in a nursing home.
That was destroyed. I just
You
love
took
it.
him to a nursing home in Manhattan? Oh my God.
I love it. I love it. I thought it delivered in all the right ways. Let's talk about some of the things we didn't like so well delivery wise.
I have one that really stood out to me. And this is not to knock the humor or the comedy of the movie, because I thought it was hilarious. But at the end, but at the end when Asgard was being destroyed and they were watching on,
Cord.
Yeah, and Cord makes that joke about the foundations, and I'm like, in reality, this is probably a pretty dramatic moment for Thor, watching his home of thousands of years just being blown up. Like, you could have left this sort of dramatic, kind of like Yondu's death in Galaxy 2, Guardians 2, just one dramatic moment, like that. But that's a nitpick.
Here's what I thought about it, and this actually happened throughout the whole film.
I loved him, so much.
Yeah, I thought Cord was good. I thought Cord was a little heavy-handed. Is the only thing I didn't like about him. My thing about him is, just like Nate said, is at the very end, I think they overdid the joke. I think there was a good joke there where he says, "We will rebuild. It will be a beacon." I thought that was pretty good. And then after it blows up, it would have been a whole lot funnier if he didn't say anything. Like if it was just
like it's already implied. It's already,
exactly. You don't need to say it.
The same thing, right? Like, I don't have to say this. That clearly we're not rebuilding here. Like, do I have to say it?
It would have been better if he didn't say anything and you just saw him kind of stare and then kind of look down. Like,
do one of those.
He didn't need to say, "Oh, well, no, it's gone now. No foundation." Like, you didn't need to say that. I just thought, and in general, the jokes were like that in this film. It was all a little heavy-handed. There were certain parts
like the
that
opening
you just
scene
didn't need.
When he's hanging from the chain. Hold on, wait. I'm coming back around. Oh my God.
Yeah, the first time it was funny, but the second time it's like, okay. Like, I think the second time it should have been more like the guy was trying to look around and just continue the conversation. I just,
like,
I don't mind the comedy when it fits. It was almost like the whole thing about Thor 1 was that he didn't know when to be serious. And so, like, now in Thor Ragnarok, you see the return of that flaw in his personality where he never takes anything seriously. And so I kind of felt like
tied a lot to Earth. Like, he's really absorbed a lot of human traits, like, over like just the entire Marvel series. But this, like, he was just a sarcastic millennial. You know what I'm saying? That's what he was.
Well, not
a dumb jock.
It was like very much dumb jock mixed with. He reminded me of the main character from the Netflix mockumentary that we were talking about with all of the dicks. He reminded me of that guy, like where he.
Dylan?
Yes, Dylan.
Was it?
He reminded me of
Dylan?
him a lot. Where
I'm Dylan, son of Odin.
Because like when he's like, well, why didn't if you knew where my father was, why didn't you just call me? He's like, well, you don't have a phone. Well, you could have sent me an electronic mail. You don't have a laptop. What would I need one for? Like, it's like, if you know what email is, and then at the same time, Thor spouts off later in the movie, like, quantum physics about portals and what physics
and
you need
for
the spaceship not to destroy itself when you go through. I was like, okay, how does this guy know quantum physics, but he doesn't understand email? It was just, it really bothered me. And it, more so the second viewing, I was
but
like,
also maybe
that joke doesn't work now.
Maybe it would make more sense for him to be familiar with quantum physics as opposed to something as lowly as an email. Like, maybe.
Well, first of all, where did he learn quantum physics?
Because he's
you call it science or something. You call it magic. We call it science.
Yeah, man.
I come from a place where they're one and the same. That's why.
And he's been alive for a long time.
So why does he call it? Yeah, but then he doesn't know what wizards are.
Because maybe that's not how he would define wizards. You know what I mean?
But then later on, Odin says, "Good job with the spell. Such and such would have been proud," and he referring to a witch. So it's like certain things don't work together.
And wizards aren't the same. Like, why would you even categorize? They're so different.
And And
like,
Wizards
they're
didn't
not even
start
the same
when
world.
Stephen Strange came around. They've been around for eons. My thing is, it's just
all right. Next time you plan to bear trap
you,
me with having Stephen Strange at the end of clearly crushing the whole argument of, oh yeah, by the way, don't forget the strongest sorcerer in the realm. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna open this bear trap and try to back out and limp.
Odin is the conqueror of the 9 realms, which means he
knew,
has conquered Earth, which means he would know the Sorcerer Supreme or know of them.
He just didn't pass that on. You know,
but he knows.
He didn't
but he knows. But he knows the
seconds.
spell of quantum physics.
He didn't even know about it.
But he doesn't understand email.
He was like, "Oh, by the way, let me teach you about email. You know what? Let me tell you about your sister. I'll tell you about your sister. You can learn about email another day." Oh, I'm dying. Sorry, I couldn't teach you the one.
It's just very convenient of what he knows and what he doesn't know.
Look, BK, it's in the script. Okay, it's how we wrote it in the script. It's how the movie's going to be. Okay. Quit being above the script and having logic to defeat our flaws. All right.
I think you're kind of on the money. He is sort of a dummy.
You.
Like he's not a guy that paid attention in class.
No,
he's the
that was the whole plot.
He copied off of the person.
That was
to
the whole
of
plot of the first movie. Is that he didn't study, he didn't do anything, and that his brother Loki was better suited because he was smart. So it's like when it's convenient for him to know stuff, he can spout off quantum physics and know how to fly a random plane, even though he has never had to fly a jet ever because he flies himself. It was just weird. It was just like, wait, let me, they did this little disposable line where it's like, oh, just flying another spaceship. But then he had clear issues learning how to fly the Quinjet. It's like, wait a minute. It's like, wait a minute. Which one is it? I just didn't get it. It was like weird to me. I was like, it's okay for Banner to take over here. Like, it's okay for him to know what to do here. Let's not make Banner dumb, because he's like, use one of your PhDs instead of telling him how to fly the plane, because he obviously knows how, because he just pressed this little thing. It's just weird. It's just I didn't quite jive with that.
That continuity bothered you?
The second viewing is where it bothered me. I was like, wait a minute. Gotcha. Anyway, so that horse is beaten. It's dead.
Oh,
it's
it
gone.
Is? All right.
Yeah, it is.
To the glue factory with you, old Elmer.
Any other observations? For me to poop on!
The Warriors 3 were really shown how worthless they kind of were.
Man. Wow.
Luckily, Chuck has another job as Shazam. And
man.
Yeah.
How disposable, bro. I was like, wow. Like,
yeah, why did you just leave the Asian to be like the last one standing? You could have had the 3 of them there and given them the same send-off.
Especially with that terrible ass accent that we had to be subjected to. It's like, why does he understand perfect, terrible Japanese accent? Like Japanese American, Chinese American accent.
Why is
like that? Like that terrible, like, I don't quite understand your language. Like, why that? Like, why that? Just give us somebody who speaks.
To the old centuries here that you have the weapons here to defend us.
So, where are you from?
I don't know who you are.
Province.
Like, why?
What part of China in the universe are you from? Huh?
I was like, all of this magic, and you couldn't learn how to just speak English.
That's always been one of my favorite things in movies. Just the curious accents, the ones that are always set far off, or like in 300 where everybody has a strong British. Like I just always love that. And Thor definitely helps out. Just the fact that his accent versus Loki's versus Odin's.
I was like, Idris Elba did not subject us to the League of Shadows accent. Like, why did you have to do it? It was like weird. I was like, what is this? Why him? Why give him so many lines?
I don't know.
Why this guy?
All 3 of them could have been there.
We've said before that they could have had any random actor playing him. Like,
really
it never had to be Idris Elba. It could have been an extra. An extra could have been him the whole...
Dude, if I were like the actors that played the Warriors 3, I would, if I got a call and be like, hey, we want you for Ragnarok, but, these are your scenes. I'd be like, just CGI me in there, like there's no real reason for me to be in there.
And you gotta, you
Terrence Howard could have been back in the Marvel universe as Han.
And why did the Warriors
man,
3
if I can let you through this gate, man?
And why were the Warriors 3 not like in hiding somewhere, knowing good and well that wasn't really Odin, and waiting for Thor's return? Like, it should have been them saying, "Hey, Thor, we need you back in Asgard because your brother obviously is the king now." So I was like, they deserve to die, and I hope they burn in hell. Like, you didn't warn this dude. Like, y'all just wait, we hanging out.
They're probably partaking,
jumping
in
off. It was crazy, dude. It was real crazy to me. I was like,
very
man.
strange, I would say.
This was definitely the most unexpected Matt Damon cameo since Euro Trip for me.
I love that. I love that.
And then it had Chris Hemsworth's brother playing the other
brother.
Yeah, that was
legit.
And Sam
Hey!
Neill
and
as
Sam
Odin.
Neill. Yes.
Hey, and
I feel like these are
dude,
actors that failed the part originally. So,
dude. And shout out to Thor for looking like Odin finally. I love that, dude.
Dude.
When he lost that eye, I was like, about time. Let's get it.
I didn't see that coming at all.
Because in the trailer when he got the lightning, he had it in both eyes.
Yeah.
He sure did. And when they did the Guardians of the Galaxy part of the trailer for the new upcoming film, he
He has
his
both eyes
in that,
in that
too.
one too.
So yeah, I thought that was a really welcome change.
One of those, a rare surprise in a movie, huh?
It was.
This is actually, speaking of Infinity War, like, this sets it up with the mid-credit scene. That's Thanos' ship. That's the Sanctuary 2.
It seems that.
Oh, of course.
They set this up to, there's in the comics a long time ago, Thor rebuilds Asgard in Oklahoma, essentially.
Wow.
And this sort of sets up that kind of storyline.
Yeah.
But knowing what we saw from the Infinity War trailer, like, I almost feel like the Asgardians don't make it.
I think that I think they might not make it either, bro. Either that or he's gonna like put them on the ship. I think he's gonna put them on the ship because why make the ship so enormous compared to theirs? So I think they're gonna pull a Star Wars, and that ship is gonna be pulled onto his ship. And and here's why: because Loki obviously took the Tesseract, because he has a moment where he looks. So the Tesseract is gonna be on that ship, and that's why he's trying to get them, because he's gonna make Loki give him. And I want to say in that trailer we see Loki getting tortured, or he gives it up for him, or something like that.
Yeah, he's like holding his hand out.
Exactly. So I definitely see that happening for sure. And we obviously probably gonna see Loki defect to his side.
I think Infinity War we will see the redemption death of Loki. They kind of have that conversation at the end where he's like, Earth's going to be pissed off at me if I go back. And you almost from that know, like, this guy's not going back to Earth. They probably will build Asgard there. Yeah, Loki will sacrifice himself for the greater good.
Probably.
And boom.
Probably.
Yeah.
And probably make some sort of, well, I guess I'm not as predictable as you thought I was.
He's going to have his Carl Urban moment.
Oh, nice. What do you seek? Recognition. Exactly. Man. Yeah, so definitely amazing experience. Definitely, if you watch this, you're definitely doing this. Derek, give him the player way tag.
The player way.
Exactly. If you want to watch this movie, you are doing it
The player way.
Exactly. So that's what we're doing. Well, while we're on the subject of amazing stories, I mean, I think it's only right that we talk a little bit about Stranger Things. Should we say that to the next episode? Have y'all watched it?
Oh,
yeah.
I definitely watched that one.
Consumed. All right. So let's get a little bit of a start on it. We won't go into it too deep, but let's talk a little bit of it. Initial thoughts.
I, for one, was a little worried that this might find a sophomore slump after how good season 1 was, and season 2 to me was sort of just as good. I enjoyed it. I binged it all the way through. I liked every single second of it. Well, actually, excuse me. I might have spoken too soon there. I enjoyed most of it. I don't really have any low points on this particular season. Steve came out of it as my favorite character in the whole show. Yeah, that's about it. Oh, and fucking stupid little Red Ranger. God, I hated him.
Yes.
I
loved him. Dude, my favorite scene
I know he was supposed to be the villain,
my
but he played
favorite
a good
scene
villain.
with him is when he almost fucked those kids' mom, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, he was about to give it to her. I was like, yeah, we going there. We going there, Stranger Things. About to go to some strange. He was about to give it to her, bro.
Yeah.
She came out the bubbly bath, looking all as good as you want to look, mama.
Man,
She came up there
Stacy's
looking all.
mom had it going on.
I'm telling you.
Man.
But yeah, so they're setting up. I love all the setups. I'm normally one of the things that they did in this that I was worried about is they did a lot of setups for next season, and it was on the edge of too much. Like the side story served no real purpose other than having that cheesy. Well, mostly to completely steal the plot of X-Men First Class between Magneto and Professor X, where she's pulling the truck. I was like, this is the Magneto scene with the satellite. It was exactly one to one. I was like, Rachel was watching. She was like, I've seen this scene somewhere before. I was like, X-Men First Class. That was a beautiful memory. Like, it was like, oh my God. So like that, I was like, a little too close to X-Men First Class. I would love someone to like take X-Men First Class do a side by side. It was point for point the same story. So I thought that was kind of trash, in my opinion.
That is such a.
It was
how specific
the whole
specificity of your annoyance of that.
The whole Misfit stuff was trash. All of it. It was like
that is pretty much today's rap. Garbage over techno beats. That's what you hit them with.
That's
what you hit them with.
It was trash. It was trash. Like the whole resolution, I was like, all that for what? Just so she could
don't
come
get
back
mad.
and look cool. Get glad. Like I was like, we could have spent that screen time on something else.
There's a little trash humor. There's a little trash humor there. Don't get
Get
glad.
my thing was, this was one more episode. This was one more episode than last season, and I think that one extra hour could have just been done away with.
Better served. Oh, okay. Or that.
Yeah. I think they did enough fan service with, starting it off with the girl. It was just weird. I just thought the whole side story was meh. And I also thought that her superpower was kind of meh compared to 11 too. Because they're obviously setting up for, is it Robot 009?
Cyborg.
Cyborg 009?
Yeah.
They're doing that thing basically with this, where obviously there's 11, and then now
I was
we
kind
know
of wondering if the redhead, if Mad Max was going to be numbered. I kept thinking, because she always had long sleeves on, so I kept expecting some scene, but nothing ever manifested there. But just because
I did too, with them coming from out of town
about things, she would ask as if
yeah.
she wasn't. As if she's like, so what? What's this crazy thing? But it's always like she was probing for information. Like I felt like she was probing.
Yes, but it never. And the first half of the season, you think they don't have any parents around. It's just her and her brother.
And they just showed up like in episode 8.
I was like, wait a minute.
I seriously was like, where did their parents come from? I thought he was just living with his little sister, and I didn't.
And they even have a backstory where he says that the parents tried to move away. They wanted to move away from them, and so she chose her brother over them. I was like, where the fuck did they come from? Like, they just showed up like they were gone for a weekend.
Literally.
I was like, wait a minute. I was like, where did y'all go?
Man. Yeah.
I was like, that was the weirdest thing to me. I was like, so I'm not the only one who thought the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, where
I was
their
weird about
parents come
that.
from?
I felt like she was part of something, but like I said, I don't know. It was just, like, I have a lot of question marks. Like, I still feel like they may come back, possibly. I have no idea. But my take on it, I enjoyed it as well. It gives me such a nostalgic feel, like the feeling of being a kid watching an 80s movie. That's what it gives me when I watch Stranger Things. It's very like Stephen King, Several Young Friends. Super 8 always comes to mind when I watch Stranger Things, because I went and watched Super 8 again just because of Stranger Things that week, and I was like, man, this is a damn good production value. Remember, BK? Production value. Like, that was a legit movie, and I kind of wonder what happened to Dakota Fanning's little sister. Like, she was a good actress. I don't know what happened with her career, but anyway, that's off the beaten path. But I just enjoy, like, it's such a feel-good show in that instance. Like, I always feel like a kid watching an adventure, and I enjoy that. And, man, these are some good acting kids, man. These kids are damn good actors, you know.
They're damn good.
They're going to have to go on a time jump like next
they are.
season,
Yeah, because these kids are growing
up pretty. Yeah. Like, who's the guy that was in It? Like, he
he's
seems
like
so
6 feet
much
tall.
taller.
Right?
Yeah. I'm like, I just saw you a few months ago. You were not this tall.
Right. You could tell at a certain part of the season they said, "Oh, let's just take a whole day and finish the season out." It was like, you could tell they were kind of rushing it along, like, "Oh, let's get this filming done before these kids grow pubes." It was like crazy.
I think crazy. Next season has to do like
next season's going to be a lot of flashbacks,
jump.
maybe, but they're
they'll be in high school, and Steve will be like the guy that never leaves town. Dude, he was a high point for this season for me. I don't know. I really like that character.
Hey man, shout out to Sean Astin. I will say that. Sorry, I just popped into my
dude. He got the business,
shout
bro.
Out, man. He was he was arguably the most helpful in this season.
He was
arguably the most helpful. And just let me just clearly figure this out. And then not like this.
What I love is they're alluding to that there's going to be a Barb-like character that dies every season, and he was the Barb from this season.
He was the Barb.
Like it was.
And I wanted Barb to be alive and part of the thing. I don't know. I want the monster to be Barb. Be like, you motherfuckers never came back.
I wanted the friendly one to be Barb.
Oh yeah, okay.
I wanted that to have been Barb, but
hey, I did want to ask you guys. In your opinion, is it your presumption that the baby Demogorgon was the same one that Will spit up? Because my question is this: the time from when Will spit that up to when boy discovered it in his trash can, like that would have been a long time, and why would it have only grown from that size to that size as what it was in the trash can? So was this a completely separate one, or are we led to believe that was the same one?
I think it's a different one.
Like I feel
they made it seem like he spit up quite a number of them.
This thing got huge.
It made it seem like he spit up quite a number of them throughout like the year in between.
Yeah, what I think they were alluding to is
another good question.
What I thought, and this is a great question actually. What I got from it is that all of the slugs that he threw up over time were the ones that passed into our realm. So the initial 3 or 4 that was in our realm, when they get to the junkyard, there's like 3 or 4 of them plus the one. I think they all came from him.
Gotcha. Which I totally,
because he was like a portal. He was like a portal for them. Yeah.
Then it leaves my other question to be: where was the one that he originally threw up? Then at the end of last season, pretty much.
Well, I think what
that
they're
was
getting
a whole year ago.
Well, remember it was underground. Well, no, think about it.
I guess I thought they got.
I'm answering your question.
Maybe.
No, I'm answering your question. So remember, first of all, they showed you how they grow. They have to be fed. So when they're younger, they can't really fend for themselves, and so they probably didn't grow very quickly.
Okay.
Because I mean, the one he found was in a trash can by that point.
Yeah,
he had to feed him all the time, and so I think what they're getting at is that the underground, the fact that there was all of this stuff underground, it was part of. When he threw them up and they went down into the sewer, that was part of what helped make that web underground.
Yes. All right. I'll be with that.
Yeah.
I'll get on board with that one.
Yeah.
But man, I really enjoyed
the thing I love about Stranger Things is it's refreshing. The stuff that the Duffer Brothers come up with are very refreshing, and it's different. The stuff and even down to like the fact that Eleven's mom was repeating this thought process all this time. I love it, and I love that they're probably going to go back to it, and there may be something else in that loop that you haven't noticed yet.
I like the increase of Elle's powers as well.
Yeah,
the clearing.
But what I didn't like was again the X-Men First Class biting. Like it was whatever writer wrote that.
Borrowed heavily.
It was frame for frame, the exact scene, and I was like, wow, like. Even her powers is like Professor X because she can mess with your head.
Yep.
And then 11's to a certain level is like Magneto because she could pull things toward her and repel them. So I was like, wow, this is. I don't know if you intentionally
Shinra
tried to
Tensei,
bite
if you
from.
will.
I'm telling you. I mean, I was like,
Because she's
It
traveling
really-
like an
I wasn't
astral
on board
plane,
with it at all.
like a psychological astral plane to be able to project to other people now. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's
Yeah.
heavy stuff.
yeah.
Like, compared to the other girl who can make you see illusions, like, that was legit, too. So,
Yeah.
But I wonder what the extent of her power is, even. Like,
Yeah, whatever it is, they got to be badasses. Hopefully, more people that they find that are part of the numbered kids have powers that can compete with 11s.
yes.
Because if that's
they can't
it,
all have the
it's
same
going to be
agenda.
kind of.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm telling you. But if all of them have like the nerfing power like this girl does, it's not going to be very exciting. Because her power is meh.
I feel like they're going to end up doing like some Logan shit where they're going to gather all the kids. Hopper's going to be Logan, leading them to some sort of fucking sanctuary. You know?
Yeah, I think the resolution of the series is going to be ending up that as long as all of those kids exist, you'll never. I mean, I think it might even come out that one of the kids are behind the fucking Demogorgons and everything.
That would be, yeah, I'd be down with that.
Shit, I'd be down with the fact if it was Barb that was behind all the shit, dude.
Or that accelerated it for them leaving.
Dude, I'm telling you, dude. Justice for Barb like a motherfucker, dude.
Justice for Barb. That's right.
Yeah, man. Well, anyway, what else you guys got going on?
Well, I did want to kind of follow up with Nate on which I did watch Mindhunter. I know it's been a couple weeks, but that was actually very interesting.
Finished.
But before I finish that, I want to tell Nate I started Manhunt. I'm about halfway through. Thank you so much for telling me about this. It is incredible. Like, I know Sam Worthington.
It is right up your alley.
Like, right up my alley. Like, I know Sam Worthington never really took off as that actor as he was, possibly meant to be, or it seemed like he was going to portray to be. But he is playing this role very, very well, and so is Paul Bettany, man. I am just in love with his character. Like, this is awesome. I don't know if you've watched this yet, BK, but it follows the in essence, the cracking of the Unabomber case. And then them interacting. And Nate told me...
I thought you were talking about Mindhunter.
No. That's what I was talking about. I said before I continue on Mindhunter, I wanted to... Because Nate told me about Manhunt last time he and I talked about Mindhunter.
Yeah. Okay, is that the documentary?
No.
Yeah, it's like the mini-series.
Well,
it's a mini-series.
Yeah, it's a mini-series, but it's
sort of like the OJ mini-series. Where
I've been watching maybe I missed. Okay, I think I need to go back then. I've been watching. Netflix came out with a documentary.
Mindhunter.
A documentary about the Oklahoma City bombing.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, This is about the Unabomber.
This is about the
Unabomber, the mail bomber guy.
Yes. Yeah, this is a
Brzezinski.
Manhunt. Manhunt is a eight 8-episode series starring Sam Worthington, Paul Bettany. It's sort of, it's kind of like that OJ. It feels like that OJ series that, like it's
check that
sort
out.
of cheesy acting.
Yeah.
But it's really interesting. Like
shout out to Law and Order.
Dramatization.
Shout out to Law and Order. The Menendez brothers. I've been watching that as well.
Yeah. But anyway, I just wanted to. I know that was like a little rabbit hole, but I wanted to tell you thanks, Nate. That is a fantastic show. It's great. BK, I highly suggest it. Just hearing the.
I'll tell you what. Next episode, let's have a love fest of serial killer murder series.
You want to hold off on the Mindhunter talk and save that one till then?
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah, because I need to listen. I need to watch Manhunter.
Manhunt.
Manhunt.
Yes, one word.
So Manhunt, Mindhunter. Also, if y'all have a chance, if y'all have Amazon Prime, there is a nice little gem called Haunting in... What was it called? Oh, it's like a Haunting in like Milwaukee or some shit like that. But it's like a whole series of these like haunting movies that you can't tell if they're real ghost hunting series or let me find it real quick. Saginaw, yes, 100%, yes. Haunting in Saginaw is what it was called. So yeah, if you are listening to this podcast and you are listening to all of the scrumptious recommendations we have, then you are doing your media
the player way.
That's right, the player way. And one more time for the good of the order. That's right. One more time.
one feeling.
Gonna celebrate. Oh
I mashed that up with Daft Punk in my head. Y'all. It sounded really dim. But that's all I got, man.
Music's got me feeling free. Music got me feeling free. One more talk. Bruh, you silly, bruh. Well, shout out to my co-captains, Nate.
It's me. That's all I have to say about that.
And Derek.
You can't stop.
Man, that's right.
One more
And zippity doo dah to you too, sir. Gonna celebrate. Oh yeah.
Oh, and
I am corrupting the system. That was my actual sign off.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming back and spending your Friday afternoon
down.
with
Go
us. But yeah, we are the Playaway Podcast Season 2, Episode 25 to keep it sequential. And we'll see you guys next week. And remember,
stay bad out there, you mittens.
You man.
It comes full circle. It puts the lightning.
thanks for listening to the Playaway Podcast. Recorded in a single take from Los Angeles, California, Dallas, Texas, and Atlanta, Georgia, by Nathan Peterson, Derek Lewis, and BK Jackson. Our opening theme is titled Bound by Ricky Remedy, courtesy of Elysian Records. And our closing theme is titled Coconut King Diaries by Xander, spelled Zahnder. You can find this music by both Ricky Remedy and Xander, and many more tracks on SoundCloud. And remember, no matter what choices you make or paths you follow, just make sure you do it the player way. See you next week.